I almost made a huge mistake and returned this dash cam before I gave it a shot. I told myself I'd give it a few days. I did, and completely changed my mind 100%. If you want to hear about it, stick around, check it out. Alright guys, welcome back to another video. I'm Chris, this is the Salty Trips channel. We're all about full-time RV life, trucks, travel, towing, all that jazz. And this company, Pelsee, sent us a mirror dash cam to try out, and it is the P10 PLUS. And I guess this is the upgrade, the brand new version, I think it's just coming out, of the P10 Pro. And it has a special feature, and that's what means the plus. So it's an upgrade from the old version. And as you can see right here, it has Wi-Fi, and we'll explain a little bit more about that later, which is very handy, and it's kind of a good upgrade. But let me just go over why I wanted to return this when I first got it. I was a little hesitant at first because I didn't really want to put something on my mirror. I wanted something to put in my window up here, and I wasn't real keen on that. And then it also came with all these wires and stuff you had to put in. You had a wire for the power, you have a wire for the GPS, and you have a wire for the camera that goes in the back. And at first, I just left everything dangling. I didn't want to put anything in permanent or nothing because I wasn't sure if I wanted to even keep it. But just after just the first day of installing it, I'm like, man, this is a lot of garbage dangling and yada yada. And I'm like, man, I'm just going to return this and give this back to them. And I am sure glad that I didn't. Because I gave it a couple days, and after a few days, I'm like, man, I'm really starting to like this thing. And then I started to tuck the wires away, which I'll go on a little more detail on a little bit. But I'm like, man, I really do like this thing. And I'll tell you what my gripes were. You know, it is a touchscreen, so every time you touch this thing, you get fingerprints on it and stuff like that. And then, but this thing has voice command. I'm like, why am I touching this thing? Because it will do just about everything you need it to do by talking to it. I'll show you that in just a minute too. I was like, you know, the fingerprints, the wires, yada yada. I'm like, I didn't want anything to do with it. And then, like I said, I gave it a couple days and I totally changed my mind. I realized I don't have to touch the thing hardly at all. And it has a special bonus feature that I'm really looking forward to, especially because we pull a fifth wheel trailer. And this was really kind of the important part of having one of these dash cams with the extra rear view camera, is because I wanted to be able to see my fifth wheel hitch when I'm backing up. And the way I routed this thing and put the camera up is really give me an extreme advantage while doing that. So before I go into any further mess about it, we're going to show you what it can do. All right, we're just going to go over some basics here. It has a little camera on this side that just slides out. And it has a couple of straps that you just wrap around the top that connects it to your rear view mirror. And then you have a power cord, you have your camera, and then you have your GPS right here. And those are 3 cables. And then you have a SD card slot up here that they give you an SD card to put in there, so you don't even have to buy one. But I already have this all set up, so I'm not doing an unboxing. I'm not putting it all back in the box and pulling it back out again. We have this here, and all you have to do is hit that, and then a menu screen comes up. You know, your home, this is your record, and that's to take a picture. It has a bunch of other mess on here. You hit the home, and other menu setting comes up, and you can go through your camera settings, your system settings. And this is in your system settings, you can do things like tell it how long you want the camera to stay on, and it'll just go off, and then you'll just have your rear view mirror. It's just a reflective rear view mirror like you would usually have. Same thing. It also is a camera for front and rear. So you can go there, change a bunch of different stuff. You can go in the camera settings, change the resolutions, all that jazz. And File Explorer, of course, you know, it's just self-explanatory. So you can access your files and go, you know, if something happened, you recorded it, you can go back and take a look. And some of the stuff times out. But we have the smart drive system, which I'll explain to you in just a little bit. We're not going to go into that just yet. But you go to your dash cam, and then you have your front and rear. And I believe you swipe this way, it shows you both. And I think you swipe back, it flip-flops it. You keep swiping through, and it shows you the front, shows you the rear. And you can also click on it here, and you can adjust this up and down to how you want to see. And also, it has these voice commands. You click on here, and you click over onto the voice, and it tells you all the different voice commands that you can do. Like, here we go. We'll just go through them. Show rear camera. Okay. Show front camera. Lock video.
Okay.
See it lock the video, so that means it'll save it and it doesn't keep looping. I'll explain more to the about that in just a minute. Now we'll just go through that one more time. Show rear camera.
Okay.
Show front camera.
Okay.
Turn off screen.
Okay.
Then you just have your rear view mirror. Turn on screen.
Okay.
You just all these voice commands, so you don't hardly ever have to even touch it. At first I didn't care for it, but it's got your miles per hour because it's got the GPS on there and time, date, all that jazz. So if you're ever in an accident or anything, it'll keep track of all that mess and you won't have to worry about it. Okay, so why do I even want a dash cam? The thing is, you know, you never know what's going to happen out there. And it's always, like, especially if you're into right, it's always better to have video proof of what happened than to just take somebody's word for it. Like, let's say if you get in an accident or something, the other guy says you cut them off and you didn't do anything. You know, now you have video proof of how fast you were going, so you better obey the speed limit. And you'll have video proof of exactly what went down. It automatically records on a 3-minute loop. So every 3 minutes, the video starts over. Basically, what you have to do is before that 3 minutes stops, you just tell it to lock. The video will automatically lock when you say it. So you don't have to push anything. If something's going down, you just speak it and you just say video lock. So automatically save that video in case something happens. And we are YouTubers, so we'll probably use some of this footage for some B-roll or just showing some scenery as we're driving, so we don't have to, you know, be holding another camera or something like that. And there's also the occasion, like if you get pulled over in one of those states where we're not going to name any names, Georgia, and where they ticket a lot, and sometimes not just for just cause. That's another debate for another day. We'll just save that for later. But anyway, if somebody's, you know, law enforcement says that we're going this fast and you have video proof saying you weren't, or you didn't make a complete stop when it's obvious that you did, you can fight it in court. You know, you're not going to win that battle. You know, you can let them know that you have a dash cam and you got it all recorded. Any which way, you got video proof. Hopefully it may help you. It may work against you. That's on you guys. All right. And this is one thing I ran into like right off the bat that made me decide I really want to keep this thing, and it works great. Is the other day I bought a new TV for the RV and I put it in the back of the back seat here. And of course I couldn't see out the window. So check this out. Here's another good reason why I like this is because we got a big TV in the back. I can't see out my back window. Turn on screen.
Okay.
Now I can see out just fine. And completely blocked. Whether the back window is blocked, you got kids or animals or whatever, or boxes loaded up in the back seat, I can still see out the back. All right, so I'm going to show you another reason why I really want to have the rear view camera where I have it set. So I'll be right back. I folded up the rear there. You can't see the hitch yet, but all you have to do is scroll down and I can see let me turn that off. You can see the fifth wheel hitch right there. So when I'm backing up, I can line this thing up on top of it a little easier. All right, now to get to the tucking away of the wires. I have the wires run up over here and then I just shoved them up underneath the trim up here. And then the one for the power, I ran down back that way and then go underneath the glove box and then come back up, and it's powering right here. It's got a USB port extra, so you can still get some power out of it through USB, but I just got a zip tied down there. And the other wires, I just ran along the trim and back up into the back there. And I have that camera tucked, you can't even see it. Well, you can barely see it. You can barely see a little notch hanging down there. But I didn't have to glue anything, stick anything. I just shoved it up in there and it's staying put. It doesn't move when I drive around. It doesn't flop around. You can hardly even notice it's there, which I really appreciate. And that was one of the things I was kind of worried about. Like, where am I going to put that backup camera? And I looked around there and I saw that I can stick it up in there. I'm like, perfect. This is absolutely perfect. This is really working out real well. And that was way easier hiding those wires than I thought. But we have one wire left, which we'll get to at the end. All right, remember when I was telling you about this thing over here, smart driving? you click on this, and it has several different things for detecting, you know, the cars in front of you and the cars beside you, behind you, and for lane departure and all this stuff. And you have to go in here and you have to calibrate it. You basically have to park in like a street or something like that where you have the lines and you can set the horizon and all this stuff. All right, guys, so I have no intentions of setting up the collision alarm or the lane departure or the letting you know when another vehicle is in the lane, because I already have a collision alarm and lane departure alarm, and I married her. So you guys know what I'm talking about. If there's a car half mile ahead that hits the brakes, you're going to hear about it. So I'm going to know well ahead of time. So I don't have any intentions of putting that up. But if someone who feels more comfortable with having that extra help, it's there for you. If you decide to get one, I'll let you fiddle with it. It's super easy. I've watched other videos, and you just have to touch it and move a few things, and it's super easy in case you want to calibrate that to have that assistance if you feel you need it. All right, guys, I told you this thing has Wi-Fi, and this is the reason. It has an app. I'll put a double screen up here, and you can see it'll show the video, and it'll show you the route you're taking on the map, how fast you were going, all that fancy jazz, and then you can download it. So like none of the stuff will be on the screen. It'll just be the video, but you have all this information. With this, you don't have to take the SD card out, go put it in your computer, save the videos and stuff like that. You can just download it straight off your mirror dash cam through your app. And then once you have it on here, you can share it with other people or whatever, what have you. This is the thing that gives it the plus now. It's no longer the Pro, it's the Plus with the Wi-Fi. One last thing that I have to do to make this final. We got to install this GPS thing. It comes with it's just a little GPS thing that has a little sticky on the back of it that sticks to your glass. I did not want to make anything permanent until I knew I was going to keep this 100%. So let's put this on. I think what I'm going to do is just shove all this back up here, out of the way, and peel this off, and I'm going to stick it right here out of the way where it's not bothering me, it's not bothering Kim while we're driving. And I'm just going to stick it right there. All right, guys, so I'm loving this thing. We're going to go over this one more time. Show front camera.
Okay.
Show rear camera.
Okay.
Show both cameras.
Okay.
Turn off screen.
Okay.
And it's just a regular mirror. Turn on screen.
Okay.
Show rear camera.
Okay. There
we go, guys. Honestly, the more I thought about it, the more I loved it. Thanks, Pelsee, for sending us out this mirror dash cam, which is multi-purpose. Honestly, I try to keep things real in here, and I honestly was going to send that back right off the bat, but I'm sure glad I didn't. I'll leave links for this thing down in the description area below in case you want to get one. This is the newest upgraded. Thanks for following along. Hit that subscribe button if you felt this was useful. Notification bell, all that fancy jazz. If you're into full-time RV life, RV living, part-time, full-time, trucks, travel, towing, any of that jazz, please give this video a big thumbs up. Shows us you appreciate the content, and we appreciate you guys, and we really mean that. So hopefully we'll see you guys in the next video. Until then, bye.